po'. To dobrze, bardzo dobrze. Please. Please. Oh, God help me. Oh, God help me.
Is there any better feeling than being locked in?
No.
I'm gonna tell them motherfuckers out here that we're here to fucking win. This is my fucking time!
You gotta want it, you gotta work it, then you gotta win it. Now, how bad do you want it? Because if you want it bad enough, you're gonna work it. If you do those two, you're gonna win.
It's like, I need to lock in. I gotta get good at this shit.
If you want it, it's out there for you. You can go ahead and take it. But it's like, you have to be a workhorse to want to do this.
You are aware that how much you need to lock in, though.
Oh, I'm locked in right now, though.
There's only one thing I dread, not to be worthy of my sufferings.
It's how you handle your sufferings. When you're going through something really challenging, how do you show up within it? Do you choose to become a victim of complaining and misery, or do you find meaning in how you show up in the suffering?
If you want what you're chasing, then you'll put the effort into that. It's just called discipline, guys. How bad do you want it?
Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk, get off the podcast, cut out all the fucking noise, get back to the fucking mental lab.
That's on me. I have to own that moment. I gotta prove to myself I can overcome this, because now everybody else is doubting me, but I can't doubt myself.
It's the unseen work. That is why if people can make up a mission statement, an ethos in which they want to live by, and every morning you wake up, you hold yourself accountable to that mission, not a company's, your own. Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything.
But I think the main thing for me is I want to prove myself right. It's important for me that this battle against myself, I win, and I do prove myself that I was right about all these things.
This time is personal. I make it personal. It starts with me, and it ends right here. Everything in my life breathes and eats this purpose that I have.
Every desire you have, it comes from within. And if there's a desire that comes from within, it means you have the ability to do it. And what happens is when you know what you want, when you understand what you're after, when you know what your outcomes are, when you know what you desire, you wake up every single morning and you go after it.
I mean, speak for yourself. I am locked in.
You are one of those individuals that's dedicated to their craft, want to do this. There are things that are going to have to take a back seat. Make sure you're all in. And that was one of Kobe's favorite words when it related to winning. You have to be obsessed with whatever your win is.
There's a choice that we have to make as people, as individuals. If you want to be great at something, it's a choice that you have to make. We all can be masters at our craft, but you have to make a choice. There are inherent sacrifices that come along with that. Family time, hanging out with your friends, being a great friend. There's sacrifices that come along with making a decision.
Just as important as what are you going to do is what are you prepared to sacrifice for it. Because, you know, if you need to stay late in the office 3 nights a week for the next 6 months so that your boss sees the work that you're doing, or so that you get more sales in, or so that you do whatever it is that you need to do, your training's probably going to take a hit.
Yeah.
And when you start to see your condition or your fitness depreciate over time, you can feel uncomfortable and say, oh, well, that shouldn't be happening. And then you take your eye off the ball of the thing that was supposed to be your thing for the next 6 months, and then go, oh, I'll only stay late in the office 1 night a week, and I'll fit training, I'll slot training in 2 more nights. You go, well, that wasn't the plan. The plan was put everything into this one thing, level myself up, and then play catch up with everything else to bring myself back up to baseline. So yeah, choose in advance what you want to suck at is like a really, really good tactic, because it helps you when other things start to slip. It stops it feeling like an error or a curse of some kind, and actually is like, oh, this is part of the plan. This was actually part of the plan. Part of the plan was I wouldn't get to see my friends as much, or my sleep would suffer, or my fitness would suffer, or my business would suffer because we've just had a kid or whatever. Like, I think that's important.
And that thing that sucks at the moment, it's not going to suck later on.
You can work to get anything you want, but you have to sacrifice the other things you want to keep it. And that's sometimes harder than the work.
What makes something hard? Like, just in and of itself, like what actually makes something hard? Because habituation happens on both sides. And this is what I think is so fascinating, because it's like, okay, well, you know, I wanted this big thing to happen. I wanted the Rolls Royce, I wanted the Ferrari, whatever, saved my whole life, and here I am, right? And I was happy for a week, and then all of a sudden I got used to it, right? So I was like, why can't I habituate to the suck? Right? Why can't I habituate to the suck? And the thing is that you do. The only thing is that what makes the suck keep sucking is what makes punishment effective, which is increasing intensity and variety. And so if you want to effectively punish someone, you can't just keep punishing them the same way. You have to increase intensity and change how you do it. And the beautiful thing is that life doesn't fight fair. And so life will change the intensity and will give you more variety. How many times have you been like, I didn't know life could suck in this way? So in thinking about that, it was like, okay, I think the reason that the hard persists is because the nature of the currency that you pay or that you exchange for the thing that you want changes. Because in the very beginning, you basically have to, like, you know, conquer your friends and family who tell you that this might be a bad idea. Okay, fine, you get over that. And then you have to conquer yourself in the most basic level of like, I have to do something. Okay, so you start taking action, you start learning how to learn stuff, which is learning through failure. And you realize you're not gonna die if you fail. It's just that the currency has changed. The currency that I'm paying. And so I'm very happy to pay the long hours currency. I'm very happy to pay the, what am I willing to give up in terms of social life? Like that, to me, I've habituated to that price. That's not hard for me. I don't even consider it a sacrifice anymore. Once you learn how to work, the work itself is self-reinforcing and you enjoy it. It's everything else that you didn't know you were going to have to sacrifice so that you could get back to working.
And here it starts. Get the mind right, the body will follow. Tell the world, get a goal. And then day by day by day, you start to do that goal to make it the reality, guys. It's not guesswork. It's a science of intensity. And if you don't have the intensity, don't come in. Everything in life that's worthwhile, every success in life, guys, is masked by temporary pain. Don't be a wannabe. Want to be more. Want to put the work in.
I knew that I was not going to be stopped. So So you can't possibly become better than me because you're not spending the time on it that I do. Even if you want to spend the time on it, you can't. You have other responsibilities that are taking you away from it. So I already won.
Greatness is not meant for a few chosen people. It's meant for those who persistently pursue their dreams every day and make that choice when they wake up.
I now see anything is possible and that you could train for anything. There's nothing you can't do. You can't be the best in the world at something, but you can be a lot better than you are at anything you want to put the time into learning, whatever it is. You could do anything. And that's a great feeling.
I think, God, what a great time in history to be alive, because this is a time in history where it's not enough to know. This is really a time in history to know how, and I've been at this long enough to know that 20 years ago, people didn't hear it like they hear it now. The information is readily available, and people are realizing, kind of, if I have this dream, if I have this goal, how bad do I want it? And if they really want it, you sit down and you say, what would it be like to be super healthy, super wealthy, super in love, whatever it is? Like, you ask that question and your brain gets really creative. It starts getting this vision of the future, this possibility that you actually put yourself in this future reality. So the person comes out of the resting state and they make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that causes their body to respond to their mind. That their choice that they're making in that moment becomes a moment in time that they would never forget. They'll say to you, I remember the moment I made up my mind to change. And we could say then they're giving their body a taste of the future emotionally, and somehow they begin to embody whatever that future is, and now they begin to move in a different direction.
I'll ask, who wants zero happiness? Nobody raises their hand, all right? I said, who wants zero success? No one raises their hand, all right? And I go, who wants zero life? No one raises their hand. I said, who wants zero love? No one raises their hand. I said, what's the number on a perfectly balanced scale? It's a zero. It's an absolute zero. So I said, if you're trying to balance all those things all the time, you're going to end up with none of them. You're going to end up with none of them. Now, I never want your scale to be tipped all the way this way, but then you have to decide where are things going to be.
But if you want to win, it takes more than a pair of legs, all right? You win up here.
Something has to happen, though, to kick this into gear. And taking the initiative and really jumping on this and taking action, which is going to put you way outside of your comfort zone. The question is, how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to get outside your comfort zone and do things you've never done, become a person you've never been before? If so, then yeah, there's a lot of potential here.
You've talked to the Michael Jordans and Kobe Bryants of the business world, and every single one of them, no matter how many times they've done things over and over and over again, there's always been a little bit of fear.
We've been inspired, we've been motivated, but now is your moment, right? Now is your time. Now is the time where the talking is done. Now is the moment where you gotta make a decision. And the decision is simply this. Are you ready to take the next step? Are you ready to start the new chapter? Are you ready to go and build a legacy? Are you ready? Are you ready? And listen to me when I tell you, you gotta ask yourself this question. Because what I don't want you to leave just being hyped up. I want you leaving here transformed. Listen, no more stressing, that's it. I'm not about to let you stress anymore. The stress about the new coming year, the stress about going to school, the stress about those grades. I'm not about to let you stress, no, that stress is over. Now is the time for you to stand up. Now is the time for you to make your mark. Now it's time for you to get fueled up. Yeah, I want you to get mad. I want you to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want you to get sick and tired of being average. I want you to get sick and tired of failing over and over again. I want you to get mad. Yeah, I want you to get so mad. I need you to get fired up. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because now is your time.
How bad do you want it? There's two options. continue forward. And if you do, that dream is given birth, and forever you will live in the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw in the towel, I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to ever find that dream again. How bad do you want it?
So your brain doesn't really know the difference between, say that again?
Between something that happened in real life or something that you strongly visualize.
Wow, it's the same reason why when we watch a movie or something, we're able to get lost in it.
Yeah.
We're able to believe in it because it, wow, so you could create enough of a visualization for yourself if you really were to powerfully start to focus on it and do that and build that ability to visualize something that your brain at one point would have to think it's so true that the world would meet you and put it into your life.
I love the way you put that.
Wow.
What do you want to do in your life? Where do you want to go? What do you want to make happen? What do you want to make happen for between now and the end of the year? Think about it for a moment. Don't think of why you can't. Doesn't matter how much money you've got. Doesn't matter how much help you've got. Build a vision of what you would like to accomplish between now and the end of the year. And then make a written description of that vision. Paint the picture with words. Vision. Vision is going to direct your life if you let it.
Visualization activates your superconscious capabilities and releases your mental potential. You'll actually begin to receive a steady flow of ideas and energy for goal attainment. The clearer the picture is in your mind, the more rapidly your subconscious and superconscious go to work to bring it into your reality.
I'm a huge visualizer and a manifester, so I literally spent, every night of my life for about 4 years on Mulholland Drive after I do the comedy clubs, manifesting my life. So I made a check to myself for $10 million for acting services rendered, paid to the order of Jim Carrey, post-dated Thanksgiving 1995, stuck it in my wallet, and 6 months before that due date came due, I was making $10 million for a movie.
Be very clear on what it is that you want. Spend 5 minutes sitting down and visualizing those things being true, and then give gratitude for that. Like, see it, feel it in your body, taste it in your mouth, hear it in your ears. Completely immerse yourself in that for 5 minutes, longer if you can. And then just be so grateful for all of that. Essentially what you're doing is moving your brain from a fear state to a trust state. And that is the gateway to making these changes.
You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Now think about that. If you want to attract what you want, you've got to see yourself already with it. You've got to understand that you've already got it. Start to see yourself mentally. You've been given the faculties to do that. Use your imagination. See yourself already in possession of the good you desire. That will flip your mind onto a specific frequency, and you do think on frequencies. It's on that frequency that good you desire is going to start coming toward you, and you will start moving toward it. If you want to attract what you actually want, you've got to see yourself now already with it, and know it's only a period of time until you moving toward it and it moving toward you, and you become one with it. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. You've got to become what you want. You've got to realize that the minute you hold your mind in harmony with the good you want, then you've already got it. It's only a period of time till it manifests in physical form.
Anything you say with the words I am, your subconscious will then take that as a command. If you say I am sick, you're actually creating sick in the future. See, a lot of people think when they're describing the present, they're well, I'm sick, you know. But the fact is, you're prescribing the future by describing the present as it is. And most people never get that. So when you're saying negative things to yourself, you're affecting yourself in a physiological way. So this is why the people that live the most effective lives are always acting as if they're in the future and the future's perfect.
If I can even just have the courage to go into the ring, they're going to respect me. But when I said it at 14 years old, dancing in the mirror and really, you know what, yeah, I'm going to be a world champion. I said it. Your spirit is listening to you. 10 years later, I was world champion. When I said it, I was feeling. I felt it. Now that goes into your superconscious. And your superconscious mind is the universe. You know, so this is the law of attraction in process. You see, what it is in life, you don't get what you want. If you say you want something, you don't get it. You get it if you feel it.
Now, the first aspect of visualization is called frequency. This refers to the number of times that you visualize a particular goal as achieved, of yourself performing in an excellent way in a particular event or circumstance. The second element of visualization is the duration of the mental image. The length of time that you can hold the picture in your mind each time you replay it. When you deeply relax, you can often hold a mental picture of yourself performing at your best for several seconds, and then longer for several minutes. The longer you can hold your mental picture, the more deeply it will be impressed into your subconscious mind, and the more rapidly it will express itself in your subsequent performance.
And the act of rehearsing mentally in your mind who you want to be, the act of just closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing that scene literally causes the brain to look like you already did it. Keep doing it over and over again. The hardware becomes more automatic, like a software program. You naturally get your behaviors to match your intentions, and because you installed the circuitry. If you feel that emotion and you say, when I feel this emotion, I can believe in that future, then let me just keep remembering to feel this way in every part of my day. This is not about positive thinking. This is about conditioning my body emotionally into the future. So I gotta keep my energy up the entire day, and I can't default back to the old person. As long as I'm feeling this emotion, I'm gonna behave that way. As long as I'm feeling this emotion, I'm gonna believe in that future. If I maintain this modified state of mind and body my entire day as an experiment, should there be some evidence in my life as a result of my change in state of being, a synchronicity, a coincidence? And if there is, then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to actually do it again. And I think that's how we start stepping into that future.
But what this tells us is simply by visualizing your goal is already completed, by seeing it nothing but net every time, the body starts to respond and adjust itself to create the result. So one of the great success techniques is people that are super successful are often called visionaries, and the reason is they close their eyes and they see the future. You create your future by envisioning it. When you visualize what it is you want, it opens up your perceptual filter to let in more information. You'll only see enough to match your vision. If you think you're a $100,000 a year person, you're going to see just enough to make you $100,000 a year. If you think you're a $300,000 a year person, you're going to see just enough to do that. Your perception is controlled by your beliefs and your goals.
The third element of visualization is vividness. There seems to be a direct relationship between how clearly you can see your desired goal or result in your mind and how quickly it comes into your reality. This element of visualization is what explains the powers of the law of attraction, the law of correspondence. The vividness of your desire directly determines how quickly it materializes in the world around you. Now, here's an interesting point. When you set a new goal for yourself, your image or picture of this goal will usually be vague and fuzzy. But the more often you write it and review it and repeat it mentally, the clearer it becomes for you. Eventually, it becomes crystal clear. At that point, the goal will suddenly appear in your world exactly as you imagine it.
I made that happen. And this is through this like manifesting subconsciously as well. Just years of something just manifesting, and boom, it's right there. I'm just like, I really made that happen. It's scary, man. It's scary for me to even think about. When you have the vision and you're able to manifest, but then you also put the work in, magic happens, man. Magic, that's where the magic is, but a lot of people never get there. Unfortunately, a lot of people, we're blessed that we can dream.
What we know from quantum physics is that like attracts like, which is the law of attraction. Everything in the universe is made up of atoms, right? Me, you, the sky, everything. But what differentiates us from, say, the sky above us is the density and the vibrational frequency of the atoms. High vibrational frequencies attract high vibrational frequencies back to it because like attracts like. And vice versa, low vibrational frequencies attract low vibe back to it. Thoughts and feelings have different vibrational frequencies. So if we're constantly in this state of anger, shame, regret, guilt, fear, we're operating at a low vibrational frequency. And then that's what we attract back to us, this kind of low vibe life. Whereas if we're constantly putting ourselves in a state of appreciation, gratitude, love, compassion, we're operating at in a whole different frequency, and so what we attract back to us is abundance.
I mean, the biggest thing I think that really separated me through my career was my mental game. Everything that was in between my ears. Like for me, it's just, I eventually got to the point where I was competing against myself because I was so hard on myself. And, for me to improve, I had to get stronger mentally, and I had to find a way to do it. And I think my coach helped me get through that process and learn more. So for me, like when I would visualize, I visualize every single, getting up to a meet, I would visualize probably a month or so in advance, just of what could happen, what I want to happen, and what I don't want to happen. Because when it happened, I was prepared for it.
Sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things. You just kind of, that's at least how I would go to sleep. I'd lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I'd imagine what the uniforms look like, and I'd imagine where we'd be playing, and, the smell of the arena and all sorts of stuff. And I would see myself, getting hot, score 10 straight points. But in a dream, so you just keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming, and before I go to sleep, I'm like at 120 points, And so when you grow up, downloading that into your brain over and over and over, and then, that summer, I made 1,000 shots a day. 1,000, right? That's on top of weight training and my conditioning. I made 1,000 shots, and they weren't just shots. It were shots that you saw in that game. There were specific shots. So when you download that into your system and you go out in the court and you're just executing things that you've done thousands of times before, and you have that dream, then that becomes possible.
One of the fastest ways to create something in your physical reality is to reverse the normal process by which we create things. Usually we create things first by thinking about it. I think I'll go to that party. And then we say something about it, as in, Matilda, I'm coming to your party tonight. And then we do something about it, as in showing up at the party. That's generally how we produce things in our reality. In fact, everything in this room was once a thought in someone's mind. There is nothing that was not once a thought in someone's mind somewhere. But if you want to really play tricks with the universe and create magic with the stuff of life itself, reverse the thought, word, deed paradigm. Turn it upside down and start with the deed. That is to say, act as if. If you want to experience abundance, be abundant and do as abundance does. Therefore, if you have only $5 left to your name, go to a store and get them transferred, made into singles. Take 5 singles and walk down the street and give a single to each of 5 people who had even less than you do. And by the way, you will find those people very easily.
People always ask me, like, how do I create, the person of my dreams that I want in my life? And I always say, take out a piece of paper, write down everything you want in that person, and then become it.
Most people don't use their imagination constructively. Most people use their imagination destructively. They imagine what they don't want. We've got to consciously and deliberately imagine what we do want. If we will take and sit down with a pen and ask ourselves, what do I really want? What do I really want? And write it down. And then make a written description of it in the present tense. Writing causes thinking. Thinking creates an image. And you get these images going, you're building a vision in your mind. It's the visionaries that change the world. The fact that I can sit and look into this camera, and you can sit and look at me on your phone, or on your TV, or on your laptop. That was the result of somebody's vision. Do you know everything you've got, the clothes you wear, the house you live in, this microphone that's in front of me? It was all the result of somebody's vision.
What I've learned over the years is that no new information can enter the nervous system that's not equal to the person's emotional state. You can give them the answer, the right answer to the problem, and they won't hear it because it's not relevant equal to the emotion that they're experiencing. What we've learned is that if you take people in, let's just say 7 days, just cross the river of change, go from the old self to the new self, immerse yourself fully into it, break free from the chains of those emotions that keep you anchored to the past, overcome those habits and behaviors that keep you programmed into a predictable future, overcome all those aspects of your beliefs that keep you stuck in a certain state in terms of how you're thinking and those hardwired perceptions. And normally the person has the answer to their own question. I think that's when it becomes really relevant, when you have your own insight, your own epiphany, when it's your own truth because you've worked to get beyond it.
Now, the fourth element of visualization is intensity, the amount of emotion that you attach to your visual image. In reality, this is the most important and powerful part of the visualization process. Sometimes, if your emotion is intense enough and your visual image is clear enough, your goal will immediately come true. Of course, the elements of frequency, duration, vividness, and intensity can help you or hurt you. Like nature, the power of visualization is neutral. Like a two-edged sword, it can cut in either direction. It can either make you a success or make you a failure. Visualization brings you whatever you vividly and intensely imagine, whether good or bad.
So every night, there's a period just after you fall asleep where you are capable of doing self-hypnosis. And the moment you close your eyes and you're drifting off, you've disconnected consciousness. But the brain's still functioning, but it's now functioning at the next vibration below consciousness, which is theta. So the brain is in a state of record after you've fallen asleep. So if you put earbuds in or earphones on and play a program, but the moment you fall asleep, the program is playing directly into the subconscious via hypnosis. It's called self-hypnosis. You fall asleep, program's playing, goes into the subconscious, and whatever's playing through those earphones, earbuds, is going straight into the subconscious, programming straight in.
You can have, do, or be anything you want.
We can have whatever it is that we choose. I don't care how big it is.
What kind of a house do you want to live in?
Do you want to be a millionaire?
What kind of a business do you want to have?
Do you want more success?
What do you really want?
You keep telling yourself what you know. But what do you believe?
So, do you want to take a leap of faith? Or become an old man, filled with regret, waiting to die alone?
The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be.
Being nervous is important, you know. There's a quote that I love. I see it all the time, you know, there's nothing wrong with having butterflies as long as you can get them to fly in formation.
We live in a field of infinite possibilities. Choose the possibility you want to live in. I will choose a timeline of a life that I want to live.
Strange thing about faith and fear, they both demand you believe something you can't see.
What do you want to be? You know, I don't want to be anything. I am everything I want to be. And I'm already there. You know? I don't want anything. You know, people say, I want this. I want to do this and I want to do that. But the vibe you're putting out is want. You're always going to want. You know, I always have the attitude that I have.
I just decided to save myself by dreaming bigger and reaching for some stars. And so I walked into an MMA school with the mindset of being the best in the world.
I'm going to choose this possibility of my life. And that's a feeling tone of abundance. It's a feeling tone of right action. Ultimately, the feeling is going to determine the outcome. You live in a field of infinite possibilities. Why don't you choose a good one?
I would look up everything about being a person of faith, confidence, even things about charisma. You know, I would just study everything that I wasn't, and I put in hours and hours and hours, and I took lots of notes, and I just watched my world slowly start to change, my demeanor, my confidence level, and the things that I expected for myself, things that I genuinely believed that I could be and I could do. It started to happen, and year after year, my world started to become better and better.
Whatever you believe with feeling, and this is the key, with feeling, and the more emotion you put into a belief, becomes your reality. Becomes your reality because you will always act in a manner consistent with your beliefs. As a matter of fact, your entire reality right now is simply an outward picturing of your most intensely held beliefs. If you believe something that is positive or believe something that is negative, or as Henry Ford said, if you believe you can do a thing or if you believe you cannot, you are right. Our beliefs do form our realities. To the degree to which we believe anything to be true, our beliefs act as sort of like a screen. They filter out any information that is inconsistent with our beliefs. We do not see opportunities if we are convinced that there are no opportunities. We do not see possibilities for success if we don't believe that success is possible for us. However, if we begin to change our beliefs, we begin to change our reality.
You have got to start expecting great things to happen for you in order for it to happen. It is the law of attraction. It is real. It is nothing fake about it. The Bible says a man is as he thinketh. If you live your life in expectations, that's what happens to you. If you live your life in despair, that's what happens to you. If you say all men are dogs, you're going to meet every last one of them. I'll never be rich, you won't. The moment you change the frequency that your tower emits, different things come back to you.
Whenever you think of anything that causes you any concern, just say to yourself, I can do it. I can do that. I can do anything. I can do anything I put my mind to. Those are the magic words that eventually undercut and erode and wash away any fear that may be holding you back. And you repeat those over and over as affirmations, and you program them deep into your subconscious mind, and at a certain point you override all the negativity from your environment.
I see myself as the champ already.
Already? You're the featherweight champion already?
Of course, I see myself as the champ from day one. I visualize everything. I visualize this conversation. I visualize the walkout. I visualize everything going on. I know I have shots picked out that I'm going to throw in this fight in 5 weeks. You know what I mean? I've seen everything in my head, and now it's going to happen. You see it in your head, you're going to see it before your eyes. That's what I say.
Right around age 19 years old, I just found myself just in a bad spot in life, and I knew that I didn't want to just be an MMA fighter. I knew that I wanted to be the best in the world, but I wasn't the most confident young man.
Conor, in February of 2013, we spoke for the first time. You didn't have a car, you didn't have a pot to piss in. All you had were blueberries. Now here you are with the undisputed gold. Enjoy it, my friend. You deserve it. You called it.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything.
You have to believe you'll be all right. The universe will take care of the rest.
Power of the mind is not to be underestimated.
I believe, really believe, the one point that all the great teachers all down through history have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it. We become what we think about. Now, it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it.
Hey, whoever you think I am, you got the wrong guy.
You were always the wrong guy. Till you weren't.
Because the perception of reality is more real than reality itself.
Forget everyone else. You gotta believe in yourself.
Seeing is believing, and the mission impossible was not impossible.
Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go.
Must keep going! To there? It is impossible! Nothing is impossible! What we all have done is impossible!
Charles, you have finally lost your senses.
This venture is impossible.
For some, gentlemen, the only way to achieve the impossible is to believe it is possible.
That kind of thinking could ruin you.
I'm willing to take that chance.
That's all I want you to do when you look at your dream. Just say to yourself every day, it's possible.
What rich people do, they speak into existence what they want. When you speak things, it is dramatically different than if you just think it. Watch your words.
No one attempts the impossible without belief in something greater than themselves.
The rules you live by were written by someone who stopped asking questions. So start rewriting it. The only limit is how deep you're willing to question what you've accepted as truth. They told you life works a certain way, but that's just code, and code can be rewritten. Reality is negotiable.
He's with an ordinary life, but he has a genuinely extraordinary sense of self, a massive self-belief, and a belief that extends his own reality to whatever he wants it to be.
Months, years and years, and when you go to rest, you have this self-belief that you can win.
Impossible. Nothing is impossible.
Wealthy people broadcast what they want, their desires in life, their goals, on the wealth wave, on the billionaire brainwave. If you do that, that's the secret to manifesting. I'm going to show you how to do it. I recorded a show about a year ago. I want you to watch this show, take notes, watch it again and again, share it with everybody, because this is the secret that I have used to bring in billions and billions and billions of dollars and create stuff out of nothing over and over again.
You have to ask yourself before you start your day, what do I want to bring to the world? Who do I want to become? Let me become that person. Let me disconnect from my outer world. Let me close my eyes. Let me play some music, fill the space. Let me not eat anything, smell anything, taste anything. Let me not move around, experience anything, and feel anything. Let me make my inner world more real than my outer world. Let me remind myself of that 95%, the way I think, the way I act, the way I feel. Let me just get so conscious of those thoughts if I can. I'll start tomorrow. It's too late. It's her fault. It's his fault. Get really aware of how I speak, how I act. Let me remind myself of the thoughts I do want to think. Let me remember them so I don't forget them. How am I going to feel today? I want to feel this feeling and keep bringing it up until I can't forget it. If I change the way I think, if I change the way I act, if I change the way I feel, will my life change? The answer should be yes, because if you're choosing to evolve your experience, your life should change.
Heaven and hell are both states of mind. When a person is in a very doubtful and negative state of mind, he's always going to catch hell. But when the individual finds the heaven, the harmony, the God, the good, the love that is resident in his own being, then he begins to experience heaven.
Now, if you don't understand it, doesn't mean you should reject it. You see, whatever is going on in your mind, you are attracting to you.
One, it has been proven now scientifically that an affirmative thought is hundreds of times more powerful than a negative thought.
This is what I believe to be true. This is what I learned in the hospital.
You have to do everything you can. You have to work your hardest. And if you do, if you stay positive, you have a shot at a silver lining.
Vibrations will only manifest if you commit.
It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how many hours you put in. If you only remember one thing I'm saying, I want you to burn this into your mind. You can try as hard as you want to change some area in your life. If the paradigm remains in control, you're toast. It just will not work.
When you don't have money, you don't realize, like think about right now, if someone grabbed your throat and squeezed it, what would you think about? The only thing in the world is oxygen, right? How do I get more?
Getting free.
But you're not thinking about it right now because it's abundant. It's not on your mind. But what you don't realize is when money is lacking in your life, it focuses all the time. I would do that for my kids, but I can't. I'd love to take that vacation, but I can't. I'd love to do my own thing. I'm sick of this unfulfilled job, but I can't. I'd love to be at every baseball game. I can't. It all boils down to money. I don't care what anybody says. You have the money, you're in control of your decisions, you're in control of your calendar.
Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. In other words, you change your conditions by changing your self-image. If you see yourself as a person who is in a vale of tears and under conditions and circumstances, that's the way you will be until you change your mind. Also, one of the techniques that I teach is called visualization. It teaches the person to see himself being, doing, and having the good which he desires. And the Bible says where there is no vision, the people perish. And it simply means that if you cannot see yourself in a better condition, you will die in the terrible condition that you're in.
So I didn't realize I spent so much of my life with the throat being choked, but it was money, and I watched that's how my parents lived. I can't go to the baseball game. I can't put the window in the back of the car. We got to get evicted from this trailer because we don't have what? We don't have money. Right? I'd love to say that we live in this perfect world, that you don't need money to have choices in your life, but in most cases you don't.
Questions are the answer. You want a better answer, you need to ask a better question. So when you ask for something, whether that's for a goal, whether that's for permission, whether that's for love, you need to be asking the world for what you want. You make the demand, you make the request, and the universe then conspires to bring the things that you want to you.
If I'm going to get myself a big mansion in Las Vegas, I'm going to get the soft top cars, I'm going to bring my whole team out, I'm going to spoil them and give them this life. Big steaks that size, we're eating every single night each. We're eating good, we're living good. It's human nature. Some people will sit and take positivity from that. They will look at that and take inspiration and inspire. It will inspire them to go and push for that. Others will shell up and critique it and be negative towards it. But one thing is for sure, those people will stay where they are. The people who take inspiration from it will rise up and also one day experience that life. So this is human nature. Some go one way, some go the other way. But
most people are thinking about what they don't want, and they're wondering why it shows up over and over again. You become what you think about most of the time.
We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great. If you don't think you're great, ask yourself why. Why don't you think the highest of yourself? When you do, people have no choice but to follow suit.
A lot of people, they base it on their past. They base it on the life that they've experienced up until this moment.
I don't know what you're going through right now. I don't know if you're in tough pain, going through a divorce, going through a bankruptcy. You feel like you're too old. You feel like you're too young. You feel like you live in the wrong place. You feel like you deem this is great for everybody else, but you don't understand what I'm going through. I don't know if that's what you believe, but I've been lucky enough to watch people from every walk of life, from everywhere in the world, starting with different backgrounds, starting with the most hellish past, some that break my heart. I could cry thinking about it. And when they got it, they just got it and started attracting money, started attracting relationships. Their first deal happened or their new business started. And a lot of it is this foundational stuff we're talking about right here, right now, today.
The law of attraction is really obedient. When you think of the things that you want and you focus on them with all of your intention, the law of attraction will give you what you want every time.
Every time you are upset or your children are upset because of what somebody else says about them, including their peers, what you are really saying in that moment, and this is really important, what you're saying is, what you think of me is more important than what I think of myself. And you must never give anybody that kind of power and control over you, because they will always have it.
You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Now think about that. If you want to attract what you want, you've got to see yourself already with it.
When you believe that your miracle is already on its way, when you believe that you are worthy of it, the universe has no choice but to manifest it for you. Right now, as you focus on the greatness you want to experience, the circumstances of your life begin to shift. You might not see it with your physical eyes yet, but trust that the forces at play are working for your good. The power of your inner state creates the outer world you live in. By seeing your miracle already in existence, you are commanding the universe to respond with the exact circumstances needed for its manifestation. You have been prepared for this moment. This is the moment where your belief, your feeling of certainty, will open the door to what you have asked for.
You've got to understand that you've already got it. Use your imagination. See yourself already in possession of the good you desire. That will flip your mind onto a specific frequency, and you do think on frequencies. It's